Cory Curtis, who I think joins us now out of Nashville.
Yes.
Cory, there
Cory.
he is, my man. Coming out,
I'm letting the team down today.
Jordan,
Nah, you're
hey,
good.
hey, you're all good. Hey,
You're here. You're good.
Yes. Number one, Happy New Year. Hopefully the New Year was great your way.
Word.
How was Nash Vegas for New Year's?
I wouldn't know. I was watching Stranger Things.
You're watching Stranger Things.
I was watching Stranger Things.
Okay, all right.
I heard it's mid.
I haven't seen it yet, and obviously don't give any spoilers away. But from a thumbs up, thumbs down, Gladiator style, what would you go with?
I can't believe they all died. That was just amazing. No, it was fine. It was fine. Yeah. I know some people really liked it. Some people thought it was mid, like you said. It was fine. It was fine.
Yeah.
It was just fine.
We were talking about how
it could have been more shocking. Sorry. Go ahead.
Right. No, it makes sense. It makes sense, and I'll try to segue here. The fact that it felt like the fact that we had a Vanderbilt quarterback and an Indiana quarterback in New York for the Heisman Trophy. It felt like we were there in the Upside Down. There is Stranger Things.
Yeah.
Oh, no question. Diego Pavia and company close out the season there in the Reliaquest Bowl, 34-27, the final score. There in Nashville, there in Florida, what are some of the biggest takeaways that you took from this game, from this team, and just the way this season ended with that 10-3 record?
Well, I think my number one takeaway from the bowl season, I think the Big Ten was just better than everybody thought. And I know bowl games are bowl games, so I do, and I know Eli Stowers didn't play in this game, but Eli Stowers doesn't play defense for Vanderbilt. And,
right.
That Iowa offense, which we probably should have had more respect for than we did going into the game, controlled the football game. They scored over 30 points. They made Vanderbilt chase. Their defense was good. Vanderbilt has been a spectacularly good special teams team for 2 years. They had a catastrophic mistake in that football game, and it cost them mightily. We talked about this going into the game, that we thought Vanderbilt would win the game, but certainly this wasn't a cakewalk, and you don't want to get into Iowa's world. And, an Iowa team playing with the lead is not one you want to play against. They're very well coached. Their players are always some of the most NFL-ready players when they get to the league. I've been covering the NFL for a long time, and when Iowa guys get here, it's just different.
Yeah.
It just is. Cooper DeJean, we've got Amani Hooker here. You see George Kittle out with San Francisco. We can go list, player after player after player. TJ Hawkinson. They're good. They were better than expected. I was impressed with the compete level of both teams in the game. For a meaningless football game, when that game started, I thought that thing was going to wind up in a fist fight before it was over. Look, they didn't play their best. It was kind of like the end of the season for them. They obviously played very well against Tennessee, but they had games like that against Missouri and especially Auburn that they were able to escape.
Right.
And they weren't able to escape. They weren't able to escape Iowa. You could argue that Eli Stowers would have helped them, but in the end, they just didn't make enough defensive plays to win that football game. So I am not going to use that as an excuse whatsoever.
Cory, I feel like when you talk about this Vanderbilt football team, one of the best things that the Commodores did this year was run the football, whether it was Pavia or whether it was Alexander. To be held to 51 rush yards when you're averaging 173.8 per game, was it a little bit surprising to you or not? Because, I think I remember last week we were talking about how Iowa wants to turn this into a rock fight.
Yeah. Well, and you know what it reminded me exactly of? What's the other game they went on the road on and lost, and we were like, man, they got away from the run game too soon. Texas. It was Alabama. Alabama. They got away from the run game too soon, and they, Texas, they got down so big they had to throw the ball.
Yeah.
But in this game, they didn't, and there was plenty of time to keep playing their style of football. But they did get away from that, and so in the end, it wasn't enough because they didn't play Vanderbilt. We talked about they want to get the Vanderbilt wants to be in control going into the fourth quarter and then make you submit to their will, and they didn't control the game to do that. And, so if you don't do that and you don't come up with stops, like I said, 34 points, guys. I mean, whether you run the football or not, that's too many. That's too many. They did not play defense well enough. And people were shocked to hear that Iowa had scored over 30, I think, 5 times this season.
Right.
So, he fired his son and, apparently understood the offense had to get better, and the Iowa offense has gotten better. And that win and the win by Illinois here over Tennessee were both nice wins for the Big Ten.
Absolutely. Clark Lee has been saying all the right things from the moment that they were out of the college football playoff to Diego Pavia, whether it's missteps or things that are good. We got a chance to hear from him after the loss as well.
Well, one of their most dangerous players is their punt returner, and so we knew that coming in. And I think there's times where you can overthink that stuff, and we've covered some dangerous guys this season, and we don't try to we believe in who we are, but one of the ways you can neutralize a return is just by rolling out and extending the amount of time the punter holds the ball. It's no different than hang time. It makes it effective on a rugby punt. That's what the attempt was. And I thought, I loved the play. I think Nick just lost track of where he was in the field. There was a time there where I was yelling, run, 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 and had it been a more manageable, conversion attempt, I think that there would have been room for that. But Nick Harbor has been fantastic this season. We probably used him a little more than we wanted to today, but it's a great lesson for us all. It'll be on our teach tape from here on out, but unfortunate situation. But it was totally within the strategy we were trying to accomplish in neutralizing their punt return. In that moment too, keep in mind, at the end of the half, you just want them on a long field. You do not want to give them a possession in the midfield or across the 50. And it felt like we were on track for that. We just lost track of where we were on the field.
I think for most teams, most programs, the whole narrative of the bowl game being kind of a springboard to the next season, especially in this day and age, could be a little overstated. But for Clark Lee and for what he is building, I think that there can be some merit there. What are your kind of maybe soft projections as we sit, 8 months away from the season beginning, of what this team can look like next year, given what he's already built from a foundation standpoint?
Well, I think this bowl game was a capper on this season more than projecting into next season, because with Diego Pavia gone, it's going to be a whole new look for this team. By the way, I didn't hear all of what Clark had to say there. I do know he was extremely emotional in that press conference.
Yeah.
Not about losing, but about saying goodbye to this team, because you think this team helped him do something that no one thought he could or anyone could ever do at Vanderbilt. Vanderbilt being his school. And so, this team will forever mean a lot to him. Look, Gerhard Curtis, he's already on campus and he's already practicing with the team. That's what this spring is all about for Vanderbilt right now. And, look, do I expect them to be a 10-win team next year? No, I don't. Do I expect them to be a 4-win team? Probably not, but it's the SEC. I mean, how good is everybody else going to be? I mean,
right.
You don't have to take a far step back in this league to be like Josh Heupel and be really bitter after the Music City Bowl. I mean, you could see it on his face. I mean, they were 8-5, and he was not happy.
Right.
I mean, and now he's got a lot of pressure on him to do better next year in Knoxville. And so, Vanderbilt went 10-3, right? And there's a couple games in there could have gone the other way, and you no longer have a fifth-year quarterback leading the way. You're going to have an 18, 19-year-old kid leading the way, and so there's going to be a lot of pressure there. And I think I don't know what realistic expectations are going to be. Especially, we're playing 9 conference games next year now, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So 9 conference games and another Power 5 game. So there's only 2. There's only 2 games that you can schedule that are on the softer side. So it's not going to be easy for Vanderbilt to repeat. But, the big thing is they feel they have the infrastructure in place now to continue to build. They've got the template in place. They've got the money that they know they need to spend to retain and get new players. They have the facilities to attract players. And most important, they have a young quarterback to help attract young players. Now he's gonna have to perform. We've seen a lot of 5-star quarterbacks not deliver. All right. I'm old. We've established that. In my years, stars are great. Performance is better.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we'll have to see. I don't go into next year thinking they're going to be 2-10. That's for sure.
Right.
But we'll wait and see.
Cory, you brought up Gerhard Curtis, and following the Syracuse Orange football program this year, I almost just have to ask this question because I saw what happened. They got Steve Angeli. They thought he was going to be Kyle McCord 2.0, and then what happens? He gets hurt. Would you expect Vanderbilt to go into the portal and maybe get like a QB2? Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
You have to, right?
I think they have to get an experienced quarterback. Number one, if he's not ready.
Right.
Because he played small private school football. All right, like the lowest level of private school football. There's only like 2 or 3 of them here, so it's not like a 1 through 6. But still, there's historically large private schools here, MBA, Ensworth, Brentwood Academy. He's not playing those.
Right.
All right. He's playing the next tier down. But still, for 3 years here, he was an unbelievable player. But, look, we just got done with Titans clean out and talking with Gunnar Helm about life in the NFL compared to college.
Right.
Okay. He will tell you they are built different here.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
And going from private school football in the state of Tennessee to the Southeastern Conference, they are built different there. All right. And so it doesn't matter who you are, there's still going to be an acclamation, to the game. And I may be wrong. Gerhard Curtis may come out and win the Heisman next year.
That's true. Yeah.
Who knows?
Yeah.
Didn't Johnny Manziel do it as a freshman?
As a freshman. He's exactly right. That's exactly right.
So I never say never. I'm just saying you have to be realistic.
Right.
You have to be realistic.
Yep.
And part of that being realistic is having a solid backup, but also if he gets hurt. Your season can't be over because your quarterback gets hurt.
Right.
And now with the portal, you're in position to just bring in an experienced guy. Shoot, Ty Simpson may be available from everything I hear.
And
so
he's a
not
Tennessee
that
guy.
they're going to bring in Tyson. Not they're going to bring him in to compete. What are they saying? Knoxville not out of the way? Out of the talk there.
Yeah.
There's other quarterbacks out there. They need. Shoot, where did Ole Miss get this kid from? Ferris
State. Yeah. Division II.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. The Titans drafted a kid from there, or got him as a free agent 2 years ago. Had like 24 sacks in a season.
Wow.
Caleb Murphy.
Yeah.
So
nice.
There are players everywhere, but they definitely need to have some guy who they're not afraid to play and who they think can win games.
Absolutely.
It can't be a guy who just takes snaps.
No.
Look, we just saw that with the Titans on Sunday.
Right.
They brought in Brandon Allen, and all he could do was take the snap. And that was horrible.
Exactly. Yeah.
So they can't fall into that trap. You need to invest in somebody who is willing to be the backup.
Right.
Which is hard. But if you can pay him, you might be willing to do it.